Everybody, welcome back to Sean and Jill See the World. Now, I know this is NCL Jade 2 days in Israel, but this is part 1, so this is only going to be the first day. Now, Jill and I started cruising on MSC lines, and then our last cruise through Alaska, we went all out and tried Holland America. Now, we thought this time, let's try Norwegian. We heard good things, and this itinerary that took us to Israel looked very interesting. So, now Israel, to me, has always seemed like Jewish and Christian country, but when you're there, you really understand how important it is to the Islamic world as well. Now, when you go to Israel, be prepared. Security is no joke. We need to show our passports in order just to get into the building to see the border agent. Now, once we pass through the border agent, got our visas, we need to show our passports again within about 10 feet in order just to see the X-ray agent. And of course, when we were done getting our X-rays done, we needed to show our passports to leave the building. So now we started our tour in the old city of Jerusalem. Now, as you can see, most of the city, a lot of it actually, are these kind of corridor covered markets and things. Now, I suggest a guide. You do need to know where you're allowed to be and where you're not allowed to be certain times of the day, depending on your faith, believe it or not. Now, our tour guide was very good. She kept us safe, and took us to all the right places. First place we saw was the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. This is the supposed location of Christ's crucifixion. Now, this is the main floor. Right when you walk in, to the right, you're going to go up some stairs. And at the top of the stairs, you'll see this. This is the top of originally the hill that Christ had to carry his cross to the top. And in the floor there, you'll see a hole. The hole is apparently where his cross was placed while he was being crucified. You come down the stairs and you go to the left, you'll pass the stone that he was anointed on, and you'll see this. This is his tomb. It's very beautiful, and it is the longest line to get in, but for those who are willing to wait, it is definitely something to see. Now, after we left the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, we made our way through the old city again, making sure to follow the sun. Now, being in Jerusalem, we did run into people on pilgrimages, and as you see, there's often this different scene and making its way. Once we got where we were headed, you can see here, this here's the area of the Western Wall. Now, there's heavy security to get into this again as well, and these images are what you may be expecting, and as you can tell, we could see it. I did take these ourselves, but this is more what it's like. It is rather hectic at times. What can you do? These are pictures of, that is the Mount of Olives, and when you get across and you're actually on the mount, you can see all of the old city, and right there is the Dome of the Rock, which is a very holy place for the Islamic people. Now, we would have hung around, but they were not hail, thunderstorm, the whole thing. Lucky for us, it was time to get on our bus and head our way to the Dead Sea and to the Jordan River. Once we got to the Dead Sea, it was about an hour and a half, 2-hour drive. Once we got there were change rooms to get changed in. Not the most private things. Be prepared to make some new friends in the buff. They did have more private changing areas down by the water, which we found out, of course, later. But there are no lockers down there. Now, as you can see, it is a fair hike down to the water. That is because the sea itself has been receding for the last 20 years because the people of Israel have needed the water for drinking. Now, what you need to understand is that is not sand, people. That is clay, like potter's clay. So when it's wet, it is like greased ice. It was slippery as slippery could be. People were falling in that. You need to be very careful. Wear shoes if all possible. Now, as you can see here, the water was not warm, but it wasn't that bad. And yeah, even my sorry self could float with no problem. It was almost comical. Hey, look, and Jill found herself a camel. Now the last place on our first day we visited was the Jordan River. Somewhere along this river is where John the Baptist did baptize Christ. Might have been here, might have been further up the river. No one's really sure, but this is where they've set up an area where you can be baptized again. Now, as with everywhere we found in the country, there is a lot of gift shops. As you can see here, this is the second gift shop in that area. I found for myself that it seemed to take a little something away from it, but you know, to each their own. So part 2 tomorrow with Nazareth and the Sea of Galilee.